Too much time and space.
Golding. They're on fire.
Illy with a lob for White. Oh! They're both offences looking sharp at the moment. Melbourne and Tasmania. The roof's open. You wouldn't be dead for quits.
Hello and welcome to the Hungry Jacks NBL Monday Night Hoops here at John Cain Arena. Christmas has come early. We've got the Bass Strait Battle. Melbourne United, they'll be hosting the Tassie JackJumpers. The last time these two teams met was the Championship Series back here in September. I am so excited for this one as we see the players arriving here. John Cain Arena looks absolutely incredible. I'm Kelsey Brown here with Alice Koenig and Pete Hooley. Pete, looking at the Mitsubishi ladder, who needs this win more?
Oh, it's tough, isn't it? Because Tassie, they're just trying to get into the top six. There's big ins and outs in both these teams, which we'll talk about. But Melbourne United, they're on a bit of a slump. They want to get back and create this fortress back at John Cain Arena. It's a full house in here, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, one of the men who is welcomed back tonight by Melbourne United is Chris Golding. He's been out for the last 4 games with that calf injury. Alice, how important is he to the Melbourne United lineup?
Look, I think his importance is just insurmountable. You know, he really stretches the floor for this team. He's a 40% three-point shooter around his career, and what he brings to this team is just you can't match it. So everyone has to help off a little bit more when CG's on the floor. So I think they've really missed that. They've missed his leadership, and he's just an absolute bucket getter.
Yeah, he's the barometer for this team. Make no mistake about it. We talk about how important Shea Illy can be, and Jack White as well this season. But Chris Golding's the one who makes the wheels turn. He can create the space, as you said, for other people to open up, and he can put a game to bed in 2 minutes. And it doesn't matter when that game is. He'll be in the first quarter, and he can silence everybody. It's a welcome addition back to the lineup. Hopefully he picks up where he left off.
Well, Pete, I know you've been checking the weather radar all day, as have you, Alice, and unfortunately, the news out of Melbourne United is that the roof will be closed. There will be an opening at halftime for some fireworks, which is exciting, and happy for the kids that they finally get that open-air game.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is just a basketball god saying that if you lose the last throwdown, the other team gets the open-air game. That's basically how it goes.
And another man in the United lineup, the backcourt of Melbourne United, is Matthew Dellavedova. He has had his struggles in the last couple of weeks, but is this because of Chris Golding being out? Is he better with him in the team?
I think everybody is, because as Alice said, Chris Golding is a magnet for the defense where they create space for guys like Delly to get more space to use off the on-ball, get into the paint. We know Delly's a willing passer, he's a great passer, but just having Chris Golding open up the floor, it's a big addition to have on the floor. And again, Delly, at one point, we saw he's okay to be the alpha in terms of scoring. That's probably not where he's at right now. He wants to get everybody else involved.
Well, he is an incredible player. And another man who is missing for Tassie JackJumpers is Will Magnay. We heard during the week from Tassie that he will be out for 6 to 8 weeks, which is a huge loss for Tasmania. Alice, what does this mean for Tassie tonight?
Look, they've just got to they've got to find points, but they've got to find people on the defensive end. What Will Magnay brings to this team is huge. He's a great presence. He's the heart and soul of this JackJumpers team, and what he's done is amazing. But I know that they've got people that've got to step up. They've got to step up on the defensive end, where he gets tips on things, he blocks things, and on the offensive one as well, Kels.
Well, last time these two teams met, I said it off the top, and I said September, but I meant March, is when Tassie JackJumpers, we all know how that game went down. Game 5 of the Championship Series, Scott Roth there. Emotional scenes and happy memories for the Tassie JackJumpers. But JCA is a happy hunting ground for the Jackies. They have incredible win-loss record here, Pete.
They sure do, and again, professional sports, half the battle is mental warfare, and they've been winning the mental warfare against Melbourne United ever since their inception in the competition. 7-2, go back to their first year in a semi-final series, Game 3. They knocked out Melbourne United thanks to some Josh Adams heroics. All of that matters, and it weighs in the mental side of players.
Well, Scott Roth is one of your favourite coaches, Pete, and he has had some personnel changes in the last couple of weeks. They got rid of Craig Saw, one of their imports, and they've welcomed in another import, Ian Hummer. He is a physical presence. He's an aggressive player. Alice, what are you looking forward to seeing from him tonight?
Look, I like the energy that he's come in with. He spoke to the media during the week. He said, I'm a good offensive player, but I'm even better on the defensive end. And that is exactly what the JackJumpers need in the absence of Will Magnay.
Well, Sean Mack has been huge for the JackJumpers. He's been probably one of the reasons that they have won their last 4 games. Pete, what do you like about Sean Mack? He's going to be big tonight.
Yeah, he's a true point point guard. He finds everybody to get the ball to. Milton Doyle, Majuk Deng, and allows Jordan Crawford to come in and let it fly.
Well, we are not far away from tip-off, as you can see here. The players getting ready. We want to welcome in our fourth member of the commentary team. John Casey, over to you.
Thanks very much, Kelsey. Good evening, everyone. Well, rain may have prevented us from opening the roof here at John Cain Arena, but it hasn't dampened the enthusiasm of a sellout crowd for this championship replay. Chris Goulding straight back into the starting five for Melbourne United. Ian Clark goes to the bench, and for Tassie, well, they are going to introduce Fabian Krislovic for his fourth start this season in the absence of the injured Will Magnay. New face Ian Hummer comes off the bench. But as you mentioned at the top of the show, this holds no fear for Tasmania here. They've won 6 of their last 7 against Melbourne, including that championship decider 267 days ago, where they came from 9 down in the last quarter to win it 83-81 and claim the title. And we are underway at John Cain Arena. And Melbourne United control the tip. Shea Hilly at the top of the key, harassed by Krislovic. Now low, shares it with Dellavedova. Single digits on the shot clock from close range. Still he gets scoring underway.
That's what we were talking about off the top, Alice. You saw Milton Doyle. He's sitting on Chris Goulding's lap in the corner. So basically you're playing 4-on-4 shell drill. Delhi can get a good one-on-one move.
And Pete, on the back of that, I'm looking forward to this matchup. It's going to get spicy between CG and Milton Doyle tonight.
Steindl wheels around and peels off a tree.
Now, Kate, there's always a Tasmania jack jumper that's going to go off against Melbourne United. It happens every single time they've played each other. You remember back, Kyle McIntosh had his 2 best games in the NBL against United on this floor.
White goes back to Shea Hilly, who muscles his way inside, draws a foul, and off to the free throw line.
Just a great first set here from Tassie. They're always going to run their shooter off multiple screens, just gets a little bit of space, a little bit of daylight. That's all he needs.
Shea Hilly to the free throw line. Gets there more than any other player for Melbourne. 74% conversion so far this season.
What I also love about that play to get Clint Steindl involved is they're going to test Chris Goulding's calf. You want to see how well he's moving, get him moving, chasing on screens on both ends of the floor. Really try and test out how good he's doing.
Well, it's interesting that Melbourne have brought Goulding straight back into the starting five. At the start of the season, when he was coming off an injury, he missed starting the first 3 games, including 2 against Tassie. But this time around, on the losing streak that they have at the moment, those last 3, it's just I think it gives you an indication of how important this is and the pressure that perhaps is on Melbourne United at the moment.
And Case, going on the back of that, they're actually 2-0 when they have this lineup. So this is one of their better lineups for this team, for this Melbourne United team. So they realise the importance of this game. Losing 3 at home in a row, they're desperate to get this win tonight, Case.
Yeah, the next 7 are on the road as well. 7 of their last 9 are on the road for United. Here's Doyle, now McDonald with it. Play just over a minute. Shot clock rolls to single digits now. Krislovic wants Doyle, harassed by Shea Hilly, takes him on, muscles his way down low, and Doyle gets it done.
Well, harassed is right, Case. Shea Hilly was all over Milton Doyle, and you can see what Melbourne United's game plan is defensively. They don't want Sean McDonald to set things up.
Oh, nice finish. Jack White. Seesawing affair here. Krislovic given some latitude by Rob Lowe. Tarangi puts it on the deck, spinning on White, and draws a foul. Chance at a 3-point play.
That's a great tack by Ruben Tarangi there, and I think that'd be really great for his confidence there as we see Daly just kick a nice one to Jack White there. Just an easy 2-point flush. And this is something really good for Ruben Tarangi. He's been a bit quiet here and there. He's got the start here tonight. Can he really get going and really put points on the board early for this Jack Jumpers team?
Keep an eye down this end. If Melbourne United score, watch Delhi go to Sean McDonald. They do not want him to pick up the ball.
Rushing up the floor, Melbourne. Quick answer as well. 8 apiece inside 2 minutes.
And now it's Shea Hilly. You see him front guarding Sean McDonald. They know how he is as a playmaker, getting everybody involved. They want to make someone else bring the ball up the floor.
Tarangi. Now Krislovic. Steindl fires again, this time off the mark. Dellavedova with his foot on the accelerator, dribbles into a trap. Low, Hilly. Now needs help, and Dellavedova at the top of the key here. Shot clock to 9. Golding denied the ball by Tarangi. They work it to White with a left hand. He gets it done.
And that's a great find by Jack White, but he realised that the guards were switching out onto Chris Golding. They didn't want him to get that three, and he just slotted down into that spot.
Tarangi from deep. It's all the bottom of the net. 2 of 2 from long range, the Jack Jumpers.
There's always someone, Case, coming into this building, feeling really good about themselves.
Who have you got your money on, Pete?
Oh, could be Ruben Tarangi.
Points waved away there as Rob Lowe knocks down the triple. Second personal foul here on Milton Doyle.
Just stepping in with confidence on the Amy replay, Ruben Tarangi. 6 points now already.
And going off that, I think Jack White did need to help. He had Krislovic at the top there, and he had Ruben Tarangi on his side. Ruben Tarangi is a much better three-point shooter. Dare Krislovic to shoot that three or attack the rim or make a play.
So Doyle forced to the bench. Jordan Crawford checks in. Well done, Krislovic. Deflected the ball away from Dellavedova. Gets it back from Steindl for the flush. Well, they've got all the answers at the moment. The Jack Jumpers, they lead by 3 after 3. Well, that's a nice response from Melbourne United. First 3 of the game for Golding. That's game number 81 in a row where he's connected on at least 1 3. And Steindl, though. 3 of 3 from long range. The Jack Jumpers have got the answers. White gets it from Dellavedova. Golding against Steindl. He fouls him, and Chris Golding's off to the free throw line.
He does that really well, Chris Golding. And this is an interesting watch now on Milton Doyle. So the 2 fouls, as you mentioned, Case, he's gone to the bench. Scott Roth has a history of, doesn't matter who you are, if you get 2 fouls in the first half, you're not seeing game time until the third quarter. He's their most important player, especially with Will Magnay out. Does it change for Milton Doyle, or is he going to stick with what he's done his entire NBL coaching career, probably all-time coaching career, and rest his superstar until the third quarter?
Golding been outstanding from the stripe this year. 53 of 58 at 91% coming into this game. Averages 19 points a game, but in his last 4, including the game against Sydney where he picked up an injury, he's averaging 29 points and 6 threes per game. 6 threes made, that is.
He's been on fire this season. Again, to think that one of his best years of his entire career. He's not getting any younger, but he's not slowing down either.
So he gets a rest now. 3.5 minutes, tied at 16 apiece. Crawford for Krislovic. Flynn Cameron has the job on Crawford at the moment. Here's Steindl. He knocks down another. Now he's come up short here. He appeared to land on the foot there of an opponent, knocking down the triple. Steindl's 3 of 3 from deep.
Went straight down, didn't he? He's been on fire to start this game. Have no look here. Oh, yeah, goes straight over. And he is not in a good way.
That does not look promising at all for the Jack Jumpers.
It's the last thing this team needs. No Will Magnay. They've started 4 of 4. Clint Steindl 3 of 3. 19 points on the board. Not even 4 minutes played from a Tasmania team which has really struggled to score all season long.
And you can't imagine that Dean Bickham would be really happy with that. I'm sure these last, 3 losses, they've been able to score. They've just been outworked on the defensive end. They've just given up far too many points, and this is, another testament to that.
So they're averaging only 81 a game. Lowest in the competition. They were 91 last season.
Oh, you're going to have that midway through the second quarter at this rate.
Krebs, Dellavedova with it. 4 minutes played, opening quarter action from John Cain Arena. Now Krebs with 5 on the shot clock, needs to get busy, wants to take Drimmick on and did a good job just to usher him away from the bucket. And the Jack Jumpers off and running. Crawford against Cameron to the baseline. Nothing on offer. Krislovic, he fires. Little lap of honour and jumped out. Their first miss from deep in the game. Now Jack White decides to fire. He's deep with the 3. Krislovic wanting to play up tempo as well. Gets Drimmick involved. Offering the baseline. Krislovic finds McDonald. Good screen. Not an opening, McDonald, but can't convert. First shot of the game from Sean McDonald. JackJumpers 7 of 10 from the field at 70%, have been very efficient. Likewise, Melbourne 5 of 7 at 71%.
Right, you're in him first, he's retaliating. All right. White 3, push.
Foul on Anthony Drimmick there.
Having a look at it here. You're in first. So that was the first foul, and that was the retaliation. Chris Reid say. This is a matchup I'm looking forward to. Majuk Deng checking in for Tassie. He was the unsung hero in Game 5. I know Jordan Crawford is terrific, but Majuk Deng, he likes to play on this floor as well.
Marcus Lee into the game as well after missing the last two with a back injury. Outside shot from Cameron off the mark. Deng hands over to McDonald. Back onto the floor as well. There's Crawford exploring, finds Gack rolling to the hoop. Worried out of the points there by Marcus Lee. So Dellavedova, the only starter on the floor for Melbourne at the moment. Alley-oop play for Lee. Krebs asked a lot of him, just beyond the big man. Ian Clark going to check in as well. Timeout called here. 4:36 left on the clock. And an enterprising start to the game. 19-16, Tassie lead.
And Pete, we spoke about Majuk Deng and just how important he is to this team. And I think, you know, without the absence of Will Magnay right now, he's a player that needs to step up. He's a great scorer. He's unconscious. He's a bucket getter. He just wants to go out and score.
Let's get to an interview with Scott Roth pre-game. He caught up with Kelsey Brown.
Scott, you welcomed a new member into the team this week, Ian Hummer. We heard from him about coming under you with the Scott Roth philosophies. What are you looking for him to bring to the lineup?
Well, he's just going to be a role player early on. He's not really in game condition, so we'll just play him sparingly as we go and build him up. But the one thing is he's super smart and can provide a lot of help in a lot of different areas for us.
Melbourne United have been on a bit of a slide. They're 1-4 wins without Chris Goulding. They welcome him back into the lineup, but you guys are without Will Magnay. How are you looking at the matchup tonight?
To be quite honest with you, we don't really concern ourselves with the opponents. It's all about ourselves and how we prepare, and we just go through our process. And you know, the league is obviously have ups and downs with injury players coming back and forth, and you just try to survive those moments, and we'll do the best we can.
For you guys, you've been very impressive the last few weeks. What have you loved about what the team has done, and where are you looking to improve?
Well, there's just no panic in our group, and at the end of the day, you know, the results are the results. And I've said this many times, you know, you can judge us on 28 games. I get to judge them on 120 other days of the year, which is what I really love. The 28 games take care of themselves.
Well, it's good to get the thoughts of Scott Roth. Here's Drimmick spinning baseline, nothing on offer. He was corralled by Marcus Lee, but he gets it back. Shot clock to single digits here. And already in the game, both benches have had a warning placed on them as Drimmick the ball away all the bottom of the net. His first score in the game.
Just a bit of friendly banter between Marcus Lee and Anthony Drimmick.
Old teammates going at it. You already see the presence, the rim protection of Marcus Lee. Melbourne United's missed that just as much as they miss what Chris Goulding does on the other end.
So Tarangi with 6, Steindl with 9. And that ankle injury sustained inside the first 4 minutes. But Melbourne has the better of it so far. McDonald's the only starter on the floor for either team at the moment. And Drimmick peels off the tree. They're 5 of 6 from long range here.
They're unconscious right now. Defensively, another stop here.
And they count the 2, chance at a 3-point play.
And this has been Melbourne's issue. The last couple of losses they had, you go back to that loss to the Illawarra Hawks where Illawarra just punched them in the mouth in the first quarter. That's happening right now. Tasmania, as you said, Case, 81 points per game, but they're scoring at will, however they want it. Inside, outside, turnovers, they're filling it up.
And a reminder, you can win $100,000 with our summer shootout competition. Just scan the QR code there and enter now. Nominate the team that's going to score the most points on the road from the games that have been nominated. NBL.com.au/shootout is where you get all the details. As I mentioned, 100K could be yours. Get involved. Right now, this is one-way traffic. An 11-point lead for the JackJumpers. 3.5 minutes left in the opening quarter. Elevating Ian Clark, draws contact. Free throws to come.
There's the Melbourne United Legends box, and front right corner, he's taking a day off.
Has he?
Derek Rucker.
Got an Olympian in there. Bronze medal. Tasmanian. Superstars of the game in there.
Corner in there as well. First Australian man to win the MVP of the NBL.
Ray Borner looking phenomenal, and Ray Borner chose not to follow Derek's beard of dyeing hair trend.
I heard he thought
Going
it
all
looked good.
natural, which he should. Always love seeing Ray, especially at the Blitz. Ray Borner loves getting up to the Blitz every year.
Of course, the best player at the Blitz wins the Ray Borner medal. Melbourne 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Have needed that because at the moment they find themselves down 9. As Anthony Drimmick ends up in the front row here at John Cain Arena. Milton Doyle's coming back in this opening quarter.
So the rules don't apply to everyone, Case. Special circumstances, Milton Doyle checking in here. 2 fouls, and if you're Melbourne United, whoever is guarding him needs to go straight at him.
And that's what we spoke about there, Pete, the presence of Marcus Lee. He's not always getting a block shot, but he's adjusting shots. He's stopping them from getting easy looks down there.
Clark gets it from Lee, puts it on the deck against Drimmick. Tough shot, jumped out. Owen tried to keep it alive, but can only succeed in knocking it down out of bounds. Let's go courtside to Kelsey Brown.
Yeah, well, an update on Clint Steindl. He still hasn't returned from the room, so that doesn't look good for the JackJumpers. I listened into Dean Vickerman. He won't be happy with the offense that they've been putting out. He was more about the fact that they're in bonus. They got to get their feet in the paint.
Chuk-Deng with it, hands over to Drimmick. Shadowed by Golding. Wants to take him on, confronted by Lee. Timed that brilliantly. Well done, Drimmick. He's got 7 in the game on 3 or 4 shooting.
29 points on the board already, and steal here. Drimmick, Tarangi, and Clint Steindl are the 3 who are filling it up right now.
Drimmick inside Golding. He comes again now, reaching in. Golding's going to be called for the foul.
What? Sorry, Blue 43, hit.
First personal.
Well, you talk about Magnay, you talk about Milton Doyle and all those championship winners. Those 3 guys, they were also part of that championship winning group, and they know how to score, they know how to win. They played under Scott Roth, and they know what it takes to win a championship, and they're just playing their role in this team really nicely.
Gack on a Doyle. Eventually gets the ball there. Now the Chuk-Deng against White. Shot clock works to 5. Deng getting much out of White, but he did enough to get down low and come up with a finish.
Chris Golding and Drimmick going at it here off the ball. Having a few words to say, a bit of history there too.
13-point lead, a game high for the JackJumpers with 2 minutes to play. In this opening quarter, Lee to Golding, a little off balance. Couldn't get it done. Lee keeps it alive though. Came to White, who hands over to Clark for the finishing touches. Timeout call by Scott Roth. They lead by double figures, and at 31 that equals their best first quarter of the season. This has been high quality. Both teams 40% plus from deep. Let's hear from Dean Vickerman, coach of Melbourne United, pre-game with Kelsey Brown.
Dino, you welcome Chris Golding back into the lineup tonight. How is he going with his body, and has he been at full strength this week?
Yeah, Chris Golding, Marcus Lee, both got through the full week of practice, everything that we needed to do, and no real minute restriction. We'll try and obviously just not push them over 30 or anything like that, but be smart with them. But yeah, no, ready to go.
3 losses on the go. That's unheard of for Melbourne United. You guys are a team that often bounce back. How have you regrouped this week, and what have you looked at?
Yeah, I think you look at everything when you take some losses, and what are the learnings. Try not to overreact. We know that we're not at full strength with our roster through that period, and to win 1 out of 4 with Chris out of the lineup, anything, if we went 500 or a little bit over that, it would have been outstanding. So to get everyone back, we're just excited about having the full group back tonight.
No minutes restriction, but he won't play over 30. To me, that sounds like a restriction. And I believe, and it's smart, right? You've got 36-year-old coming off a calf injury. You're not going to push him too much. And they play on Boxing Day as well. But they also know, Dean Vickerman, just how important Chris Golding is to their success.
Well, his season average is 27 minutes, so if they can get that out of him, I'm sure they'd be happy, particularly if it can steer them to a win. Here's Gack reaching in Lee. Crawford finds it next. Nothing on offer for him. Good defensive stance here from United. Shot clock to red numbers. Gack will have to pull the trigger, and they are doing it from deep. 6 of 8 from long range. Highest scoring first quarter of the season for the Tassie JackJumpers.
On track to get the highest first quarter of the 40-minute era if they knock down a couple more 3 balls.
Illy picks up the dribble. Golding ready to go. And all the bottom of the net. Golding now has 9 on, including 2 of 3 from deep. Crawford past Illy, confronted by Lee. Hands over to Gack, who was fouled going to the hoop, and he's off to the free throw line.
What a start this has been from Tasmania. So this is Chris Golding. You're going to switch that guard to guard. Chris Golding's already shot it before this pass has come, because Jordan Crawford's just not going to be able to close out to it.
And that's where you've got to recognise who you're guarding. You're guarding Chris Golding, one of the best shooters in the league for many, many years. And, you know, once he gets going, this Melbourne United team gets going. We spoke about his importance in this team.
And all Jordan Crawford can really try to do is really crawl in. But if you do that, you're probably going to foul. That's why you just can't switch in that situation. Melbourne United often like to run guard-to-guard screens where they hunt out a matchup they want. Chris Golding plays the 5-man in that to set a pick and roll, but he'll pop out of it. And if they switch, they get the confusion they want. He gets an open look.
So Gorchok Gack, 38% free throw shooter, nails both there. Tassie 4 of 4, Melbourne 7 of 7 from the stripe. Illy, great look away pass for the finish from Lee. Spectacular work, and they've stolen it back, and Clark just can't convert, but Illy keeps it alive with the O board. Golding thought he was fouled, couldn't get a whistle, but they keep it alive, Melbourne. Lee back inside. Pass had too much on it for Jack White. Tassie can slow it down here. The shot clock, 4 seconds inside the game clock. The highest scoring quarter all season is 38 for Tassie. Got 36 here in the opening stanza. With a shot to come. Deng fires the 3. It's short, and that shot clock violation. So Melbourne will get it back for the last chance.
What makes it even more impressive, Case, 36 points on the board. Milton Doyle and Jordan Crawford had 2 points combined. Tell you what, Chris Golding was not happy on that last play. Thought he was fouled. Don't be surprised if he gets a look at it here.
Here's Illy rushing up the floor, confronted by Gack. Stepped out of bounds with 0.4 on the clock. Good defensive pressure from Tassie. Fans don't like it. 15 players have scored here in the opening quarter. Melbourne with 7, Tassie with 8. And we're going back to 1.2. Crawford finds Doyle. And his 3 ball is well short, but an entertaining first quarter concludes here with the reigning champs Tasmania leading by 10. It's Tasmania 36, Melbourne 26. More for you from John Cain Arena in just a moment.
We're going to give away 6,000 toys to kids. Does that sound good? We've got Barbies, we've got Hot Wheels, we've got all sorts of stuff. All right, Archie, let's turn around. Have a look at those 2 big presents. Can you think which of those presents the Squish could be in? Everyone in the audience, give Archie a hand. These are the left box, the right box, the yellow box, or the red box. What do you think? What? I can't hear you.
welcome back to John Cain Arena. Tassie currently leading Melbourne United 36-26. It's been a three-point bonanza. Tassie JackJumpers are 6 from 10 from deep, 60% shooting. A bit of an update on Clint Steindl, who's been hot early. He is very ginger from that ankle injury. I think it'll be surprising if we see him again for the game.
Well, that is not good news. Clint Steindl perhaps unlikely to come back. Had they already had this week with that toe injury, and well, some wounds for Melbourne United as well. Self-inflicted. 7 turnovers to 1 in that opening quarter was part of the problem for them as Crawford elevates and comes up with his first score in the game.
It's even more of a problem because they did all their hard work scoring without Crawford getting on the scoreboard. That's just his first score.
Like it so much, he's going back for more. Oh, Lowe got a piece of it, but can't prevent Crawford from adding the 2.
Not sure why Lowe was guarding Jordan Crawford in the open court there, but that's just something that Melbourne United have got to pay attention to.
Clark gets it from Illy, shares it with Dellavedova. It's Doyle playing with 2 fouls, picked up in the opening quarter. Pass for Illy, floats inside, and Shea Illy comes up with his first field goal. Struggles are at the defensive end here again for United, though. Given up 40 already. Minute played in the second. Just can't contain the Tassie JackJumpers at the moment, who are 60% from deep and 65% from the field. Hummer, his first touch in the NBL. Crawford waited for Illy to fly past. Off the mark. Now Dellavedova wants to take on Doyle. Beats Bowen outside with an unusual release, but it's effective.
It works.
Whatever way you get it done.
No, it's not how, it's how many. Here's Hummer, the left-hander, the new recruit. Hands over to Drimmick, who was taking a contested shot there, but it's off the mark. Good pressure there from Drimmick as well.
And here comes Clint Steindl, going to try test that ankle out, but if you're going to play Milton Doyle with his 2 fouls, he needs to touch the ball on the offensive end. Here's that Kyle Bowen, unconventional shot, but the way it goes in, probably just going to have to start respecting him as a shooter.
Well, 50% on the season. There he is guarding Chuk Deng. Now Crawford against Illy. Single digits on the shot clock for Tassie. They lead by 9. Steindl, he's fouled by Ian Clark. A long way from 100%, but he's off to the free throw line.
I'd be shocked if he stays in after these free throws. Just watching him trying to come off that turnout, he was limping heavily. He'll knock down his 3 free throws. He's trying everything he can to stay in this game, as you would when you come out and go whack, whack, whack.
And as a player whose whole bread and butter is coming off turnout screens and shooting threes, an ankle injury is probably the worst thing you can have. That rotation and that movement to turn into your shot. We can see him just grimacing there.
Just wondering if there's a bit of a blueprint out on Melbourne United based on the couple of losses that they've had. Illawarra were key with just pushing the pace against them, not allowing them to dictate things defensively, with Shea Illy and Delhi getting up and in, Flynn Cameron. Because this is not the Tassie style we're used to. Tassie are pushing the pace early in this game. They've got 42 points on the board. They've already taken 25 field goals. This is a contrasting difference than we're used to seeing from a JackJumpers outfit, and right now it's working. Southeast Melbourne did it in the throwdown. It could be a bit of a blueprint that other coaches are watching.
Good point you make, Pete. Tassie in one game this season scored just 60 when they lost to the Sydney Kings in round 7. Here they are with 43. They played less than 3 minutes in the second. So Illy splits a couple of defenders, looked off the tee, did all the hard work, but couldn't get the finish. Steindl keen to get it from Crawford. Who elects to go solo. Tough shot against Bowen. It's Dellavedova. Looks to take on Steindl, knowing he's struggling. And they're going to count the 2, chance at a 3-point play.
It's a veteran move. He sees Clint Steindl is really gritting his teeth. You can't see it from this angle, but we had the perfect view of it. He is trying everything he can to get that ankle moving.
Doyle to the bench, along with Majuk Deng. Donald and Krislovic come back in. 85% from the free throw line this season. Matthew Dellavedova, 28 of 33 coming into this game. And the streak continues for United. Now a perfect 8 of 8 from the stripe. Tassie a perfect 7 of 7. It's McDonald. It's Krislovic. Back to McDonald, guarded by Dellavedova. Shot clock to 9. They leave him open, so the big man fires, can't convert. So 6 of 13 from deep now, after they were 6 of 10 at quarter time, Tassie. This is Flynn Cameron. Penetration is good. Tough shot, worried out of it. Good deep from Hummer. That's what they need from Ian Hummer. Defensive end. Here's Krislovic. This time puts it on the deck. Bounces into Rob Lowe. Steps past, but couldn't get it done. Great D from Robert Lowe.
And speaking of Hummer there, Case, we heard in the pre-game about how he really said that, you know, he's a good offensive player, but he's an even better defensive player. And I think, you know, what he can really bring to this Jack Jumpers lineup, especially in the absence of Will Magnay, is going to be huge.
I'll tell you what he won't bring to the table, and that's free throw shooting. I saw him miss 7 straight in warm-ups. Here he goes with a non-preferred right hand. It's after his own rebound.
You're saying he's going to be a Hungry Jack's favourite?
Get on. Yep. Get into the stripe and feast. Here's Dellavedova. Clark outside with a triple off the mark. Bowen keeps it alive. Cameron to Dellavedova. He fires without success. Oh, excellent work down low from Clark to keep that alive. Undersized, doing good work on the O boards. And now they've coughed it up.
Well, that's what's got Melbourne United back in this ball game. Offensive rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds. Tassie haven't got one of those yet. They're just trying to outwork them when the shot goes up.
4 minutes play, term number 2. McDonald past Dellavedova. Retreats for Krislovic. Now McDonald. Well done, Dellavedova, and reaching, and McDonald's going to be called for the foul. Going to be his first personal.
And that's great defense by Matthew Dellavedova there. He just read the play perfectly. He knew that Sean McDonald was going to want to step out there and attack that pick. He just took the space away from him, grabbed the ball.
He's having another great season, Matthew Dellavedova. He's led this team in assists 15 times in their 19 games this season. Jack White gets shut down by Krislovic, trying to clean up his own mess, but Krislovic equal to it. Playing good minutes here, Fabian Krislovic. In the absence of Will Magnay, as Crawford goes back to him. Turangi against his fellow tall black in low, and the hook shot tumbles.
That's a la Reece Carter. A running hook shot from Ruben Turangi.
8 points. 3 of 3 from the field, Turangi.
About playing with confidence. Have a look at this. Isn't quite the full wind-up that Reece Carter used to do back in the day.
I thought we were going to get FIBA Ruben Turangi back. I thought we were going to bring some of that back.
Well, got it right now. 8 points. Hasn't missed a shot. There is Reece Carter on the other bench. You'd be thinking, oh, he used to do that. A little bit more flair to it.
Dellavedova waves off Golding. They find White open for the 3. Yes.
And that shot came off the running Chris Goulding. He just absolutely bolted on that screen, and they had to help. Left it Jack White wide open for that 3 ball.
Hey. Margin cut to 8.
Jack White on the Amy replay. Had some words to say to the bench, trying to fire up this Melbourne United team that's been caught on the back foot.
And if he can consistently knock down that 3 ball the way he's been knocking it down, it just opens up a whole new avenue for this Melbourne United team and their scoring efficiency.
Inside the last 5 minutes of an entertaining first half. Trust you are enjoying our coverage wherever you may be watching around Australia and beyond. Round 13 of the Hungry Jacks NBL. McDonald lost control of the ball. Again harassed by Dellavedova. The shot clock about to expire on Steindl. And second shot clock violation on Tassie in the game.
And scoring's just dried up for the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers. Melbourne United have lifted their intensity. Instead of catching it at the 3-point line, they're now catching it just above. So everything's being pushed out.
And 5 points in the last 5 minutes of this quarter for Tassie after they got the first 2 buckets of term number 2 and led by 14. Dellavedova All action here in this one. Fends off McDonald, confronted by Tarangi with problems, gets it to White. Now Cameron. The score in the game. Forces his way beyond Steindl. Continuation won't count.
No basket.
That's a 4th team foul on Tassie in this quarter.
Pete, when do you bring back Milton Doyle?
Well, right now, if you can stay with a lead and keep this little gap, I think you've got to kind of save him as best you can. As Clint Steiner's got 3 fouls, just to not risk him. But if it starts to close the gap, you want to go into halftime with momentum still.
Of course, they have to back up on Christmas Day. Tassie, 3 games in a week starting tonight. Here's Golding. Lap of honour jumped out. Now 2 of 5 from long range. McDonald crashes into Lee, forced into error. And now technical foul called on Scott Roth. Nico Fernandez has had enough.
I think that was the right call by the referees. I think Marcus Lee had a piece of the ball on that one. There wasn't no foul.
Scott Roth with a technical foul. Golding, little deep with the free throw. Margin has been cut to 8 here.
That was coming. That technical foul was coming from the first quarter. Scott Roth's been all over Nico Fernandez. Here is Milton Doyle, Alice.
Just feels like they need a bit of more momentum and productivity on the offensive end. They need to get Milton Doyle going in this game. Just the 2 points so far. They want to go into this halftime with a good lead.
So the JackJumpers can't afford to foul here for the last 4 minutes. Lee rolling to the hoop, overcooked it, worried out of it by Doyle, who gets it now from Gack.
They've missed a lot of layups. Shea Illy's missed a couple, Marcus Lee.
Doyle, Tarangi, top of the key, measures the triple, all the bottom of the net.
But Tarangi's back. Called it.
There's always someone. Called it from the start. Love coming in and playing against Melbourne on this floor.
So 11 in the game now for Tarangi. 12 for Steindl. Only 2 players in double digits. Milton Doyle's picked up his 3rd personal foul here. So they rolled the dice, and it didn't come up the way they had hoped. But Ruben Tarangi, we talk about FIBA Ruben Tarangi. For those who aren't aware, the FIBA World Cup in 2023, he was super. He had 15 points against the USA, had 32, including 6 of 9 threes against Mexico. But he's never been able to translate that type of scoring, that effectiveness, to an NBL game, or rarely, shall I say.
Yeah, we saw it right when he was playing for the Bullets. We saw how good he could be, and then he's kind of fluctuated and tried to find a perfect home. I do think Tassie's probably the best fit for him in terms of what he can bring. But it's all about, I feel, above the shoulders. So they just tried to get Milton Doyle out. It's not the NBA. You cannot sub out after the first free throw. And this might go why Scott Ross probably thinking to himself, this is why I have my rule of 2 fouls, you sit.
And that's where, as a player, though,
Scott, please.
Well, there you go. There you go. So the foul's been changed to Gorjok Gack, not Milton Doyle.
So Chris Reed is calling both coaches in here.
Foul's been changed. It's not on.
Fine, it's the fouler. The fouler. Who made the foul is wrong. No, we got to go.
So, do you?
You got inside, yeah.
So you don't want the sub now? Thank you.
Hey, yes. Confirm. That's it. One shot. Delhi, you got 1. Let's go.
So the foul is on Gack. Doyle remains on 2 fouls and can stay out there, according to Scott Roth.
bit of a scare for Milton Doyle. He's got to protect that 3rd foul now. He can't be going for those 50-50 balls. He's got to keep his hands out.
Dodged one.
It's now 8 of 10 from the free throw line for Melbourne. Tassie 7 of 7. As Doyle fires from deep, and he swishes a triple. They've hit 8 threes here at 50% in the first half, and they lead by 14.
Right on cue.
I think that'll make Dean Vickham happy, who just thought that Milton Doyle was going to sit down. Wasn't happy the foul got changed, so he saved him, keeping on the floor, and he pulls up from the Bunnings Warehouse logo and drains it.
Milton Doyle knocks down the shot. Let's go courtside to Kelsey Brown.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of catching up with Ian Hummer pre-game. I asked him about Scott Roth's philosophy. We've heard a lot about it, the Jackie's way. you know, that be confrontational in defence. And he said, I have had the pleasure of living it every single day for the last week. He said, it's not so much talking about it, it's about what's done in training. He said, I can see the team camaraderie is what it is because of Scott Ross' philosophies. It's not something that I'm used to, he said, but I'm absolutely loving it.
Played everywhere, hasn't he? Hammer.
It's an interesting selection by the Tassie JackJumpers when you look at that record there where he's played, but he's never really had substantial numbers in any of the places that he's played. Most recently in Japan, you know, he averaged 8 points, 5 boards. He shot 52% from the free throw line. And as I say, during warm-ups, he was that embarrassed after missing 7 in a row that he wanted to move on, but they made him stay there until he knocked one down.
There's nothing worse when you can't make a free throw there, as we see Michael Klim in the crowd. What a superstar of Australian swimming.
I think he does enough in this season for Scott Roth. He just seems like the Tassie type of import. And again, probably the third import type with his numbers, but what he brings, the intangibles, the toughness, the grit. He ends up, it's probably a silver lining they brought him in when they did because of the injury to Will Magnay.
And going off the talk of the import for JackJumpers, you know, I think, you know, there is the question on the JackJumpers. Did they get rid of Swords too late? Should they have done it earlier? And maybe they'd be in a different position on the offensive end. They needed that prolific scorer, having Sean McDonald out of the game.
So again, Tassie over the limit, so more free throws to come here for Melbourne United.
Let's go.
The man that Hummer was brought in to replace, Craig Sword, he was averaging 6 points, 2 boards and was shooting 40% from deep. So his numbers, when you consider what he was delivering and what Hummer has averaged previously, aren't dissimilar.
I spoke to Scott Roth a bit about the decision, and he said there's been a couple of games recently, even though they've been winning, where he looked at, without Will Magnay on the floor, what they can bring from Gack, from Krislovic. Majuk Deng's been up and down at times, and that's probably where he got a little afraid of. Probably this exact instance, if Will Magnay goes down, we're going to need some insurance, and maybe he just knew the future.
So United, despite the fact they're down 11, making some inroads here against Tassie. They look inside, Lee for the flush.
Great pass.
It's a margin that was as big as 14 in this quarter. Has been cut to 11. So Doyle finds Deng working against former teammate. It's Gack against Lee. Short-armed it. Loose ball comes to Shea Ellie. They want to pick up the tempo here, United. Golding back to Ellie. Dances inside. Fall away against Doyle. Can't get it done.
They're really going at Milton Doyle on that end. Trying to bait him into picking up his third foul.
A little over 2 minutes out from half-time. Tassie by 11. Doyle found an opening. Can't convert. Lee palms it. Tried to get it to his own advantage. And Melbourne will get it back.
Great job by Ruben Tarangi to stay in the play and keep that one in for them.
So Tassie ball.
Tonight's half-time fireworks show is on.
Doyle looking to restart, took some time. Gack against Lee, turns back to the right hand, wouldn't fall. 1 of 4 from the field now for Gorjok Gack for his 5 points. As White uses Golding, look away pass, Lee inside, likes this matchup. Gack did a good job and worried Lee out of the points.
Another layup. A lot of red X's on that Blackmore shot chart in the paint.
Loose ball, White after it. Get back to Tarangi. Shot clock to 6 now. McDonald's pass was wild, and Doyle couldn't control it. Lowe and Delavadova to check back in here as Clark and Lee get a rest. And we're going to see Majuk Deng check in for Ruben Tarangi.
McDonald with the blood jersey on, number 76.
(15-14) is the scoreline in favour of Tassie since quarter time. Shea Ellie brings Melbourne forward. Golding in the corner, tough shot. He makes tough shots. He lives for them. He's up to 12. Timeout called by Tassie. 1:17 left on the clock.
So this is where they kind of set up for that Spanish action. It's kind of a diversion because you've got Chris Golding running on that little punch screen in the corner. And how many times have we seen him knock down a 3-ball right there? Doesn't need much time or space.
But Pete, as we see there, Sean McDonald, he goes over the pick. You've got to follow. You've got to lock down. You've got a knockdown shooter in Chris Goulding. You've got to lock and trail him. Even get him on a backside screen so you force him away from the pick.
We're going to come down at 59. Finish this quarter out smartly now. Lock in, we're at 59.
And that play that we're talking about, Alice, when you're saying Sean McDonald has to lock and trail, which he does, but the whole point of having that fake Spanish action is he's the help defender on. If that lob is there for Marcus Lee, that's where Sean McDonald has to be there to help. So he's caught in two minds, and he's a second slow where he tries to cheat over the gap, and you know you cheat over the gap on Chris Golding, you're going to pay the price more often than not.
So this has been a very entertaining game. Continuation of round 13 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Tomorrow night it's Adelaide hosting Brisbane, and then 2 games on Christmas Day, Sydney v Illawarra and Tassie hosting New Zealand. JackJumpers looking for their 6th straight win here, which will be a new record, and they forced the error, Melbourne. So turnovers starting to mount here for the JackJumpers.
And once again, we see Melbourne United just increasing the pressure. They know they want to edge this lead closer, getting into that halftime break.
Just 1 turnover in that opening quarter for Tassie. They've got 5 in the game now as Dellavedova shares it with Golding. He thought about it. Steps away from Doyle, who bats down the pass. 6 on the shot clock for Melbourne.
Let's go. Delhi.
Fabian Krislovic checking into the game, replacing Gak.
6 seconds on that outside out of bounds. Keep an eye on Chris Golding, but also Rob Lowe.
Dellavedova gets it back from Lowe. Golding now gets a good look. Yes, it's deep. Came to White. Golding inside Krislovic, confronted by Deng, forced into a tough shot. He's got 14 in the game now. Margin cut to 6.
I reckon his calf's good, and I reckon the minutes restriction might have just gone out the window there, Pete.
Oh, it's always a tough fight.
Here's McDonald forcing away into the side, can't convert. It's a strong finish to this quarter from Melbourne United. Scored the last 8 here. It's White from close range, putting the lid on 2 more, and Melbourne are right back within 4. Deng from 3-quarter court's going to be short, and after being down by as many as 14, Melbourne have closed the gap to just 4 at half-time. It's Tassie 51, Melbourne 47.
That's exactly what Scott Roth didn't want. You heard in the timeout, he said, we need to finish this quarter strong. They didn't do that, and the momentum all of a sudden swung to the home team.
So just 15 points for Tassie in that quarter after they came up with 36 in the first term. And a 21-15 term from Melbourne has them back in the frame after they were down 11 or 13 in the first quarter, 14 here in the second. That's a terrific fight back, though, under pressure.
And we knew that Melbourne United were not going to go down without a fight in this first half. We know that they haven't been happy with what they've been producing so far. They've lost 3 games on basically their home turf, and so they knew they had to make an adjustment, and they did.
So it's Tassie on top, 51-47. More from John Cain Arena in just a moment.
A chaotic first half here at John Cain Arena. Melbourne United, well, they fought their way back from a 14-point deficit for the Tasmanian JackJumpers. They have 51 points at the half. It's incredible basketball here at John Cain Arena. As you can see here, we've opened the roof. An incredible sight here. Melbourne landscape. What a spectacle Melbourne is putting on at the moment. We've cleared the skies. I am so excited to have the fireworks setting their sights on the sky. Melbourne, you have turned it on. And let's get to the sky to light up. Cue the fireworks.
How good is this? This is open air hoops at its best. The NBL, it doesn't get much better than this. I'm glad fans are getting to see the roof open. Melbourne weather calmed down just enough for this incredible, spectacular Alice.
It's absolutely amazing how lucky we are. I mean, I'm sure that Melbourne United finally getting one back on Southeast Melbourne for that light show, but this is absolutely insane.
I reckon it's one of the greatest spectacles on the sporting calendar in Melbourne. They absolutely turn it on. The sound in here is huge too. The crowd, they love it. Santa has come early for these kids. They are eating this up.
See all the kids with their phones out. They're loving this. This is a memory you will remember for a very long time. As we said, no one does it like the Hungry Jacks NBL. We've seen open air games. They're happening all the time. Keep the roof off the whole season. We don't need it.
And nobody does it like Melbourne. Melbourne is the most incredible city in the world, and how lucky we are to be here tonight. Oh my God, they're in Santa colours. How cool! Christmas colours.
That's a big finale. As you saw, a huge halftime show with the fireworks, Melbourne United turning it on. They turned it on in that second quarter too. They really fought back to level it up. I think they're 4 deficit at halftime against the Tassie JackJumpers. The Bass Strait battle has not disappointed, Pete Hooley. We have been seeing some incredible shooting, some incredible jams. What have you liked the most out of the first half?
I love the way that Tassie started. I mean, we talked about it. Other guys are going to step up. And again, I think the whole atmosphere around this game is awesome. I'm glad they're going to close the roof because my hair can't deal with the wind that's going on right now. But have a look at the crowd. I love the way that Clint Steiner came out, Ruben Tarangi. They really put Melbourne on the back foot. But in Melbourne, true fashion, they fought back. But again, Clint Steiner, we spoke about Alice. Someone was going to have to be different, some X factor. Well, it was the captain. They went to him early, they went to him often, and it worked.
And he's a lights-out shooter. And when he comes out playing like that with that huge amount of confidence, he's so hard to stop. He's got his feet set, he's nailing it, and he just plays with a world of confidence in his team. And that's what they need in the absence of Will Magnay. They need players to step up. They need that outside shooting ability. And we saw that ankle injury in him go down, but he's still out there and just competing for his team.
The incredible thing about Clint Steidel is that he gritted his teeth. He's the captain of this team. He is suffering that ankle injury. I don't know if many players are getting out there again.
Oh, I can tell you very much. You look at his Blackmore shot chart, how important he's been to this team. If that was me who went down with an ankle, I'm out 2 weeks. And he was out about, and he was out for 2 minutes. And have a look at that. I know we don't get it for the whole game, but what a spectacle. Melbourne, it's the sporting capital of Australia, of the world. We're so privileged to be here.
I think we're all pretty biased here. Another man that was lighting it up for the Tassie JackJumpers was Ruben Tarangi. You were talking about Fever Ruben Tarangi. He was back on fire tonight, Alice.
Yeah, he was 4 of 4 from the field with the 11 points to start the game. And the way he came out with confidence, he's shooting the ball well, he was attacking the mismatches, and we love to see that Fever Ruben Tarangi, and he needs that confidence to keep going. And then, like I said, this team needs him to do that. They need those extra points off the bench. And what we spoke about, Pete, shooting is such a confidence thing, and we see that with Ruben Tarangi here.
The fact that they've managed to put up nearly 40 points in the first quarter with Doyle and Crawford combining for 2 points is just phenomenal. So Dean Vickerman, he'll be very happy, I think, at halftime with the fact the way they came back. He knows they're only a couple shots away, but defensively they need to tighten up.
Dean Vickerman was furious. I was listening into his timeouts. Another man who was furious, and I think he showed it on court in the first quarter, was Chris Goulding. He has come out, he's hit a couple of shots, but what have you made of his first half, Pete?
I mean, this is what he does, right? I mean, he's a lights-out shooter. It doesn't matter how tough it is. He prefers to take heavily contested shots than he does wide-open ones. That's just the way he's done in his whole career, but the way he goes about it, the game breaker, you see the defense is just the gravitational shift. They have to know where he is at all times, and no wonder that when they got back in that run, a lot of it had to do with him.
Alice, is he the difference that is going to be made in this second half?
Absolutely. I think the way he can get to the rim and create his own shots and shoot with confidence, but I think it's on the defensive end, and what he brings is that leadership. He brings that expertise. He's not letting his team lose this 4th game here tonight.
As you can see there, we've said it so many times, but that is just a vision. Tassie JackJumpers leading Melbourne United 51-47. We have Christmas Day hoops down in Tassie. Will Magnay putting it on there. The Tassie JackJumpers are up against the New Zealand Breakers, and then we head up to Sydney for Sydney versus Illawarra. I think both of those games are going to be absolutely huge. They begin on Christmas night. We are so excited for Christmas hoops. NBL does it best. Don't go anywhere. Back for the second half shortly.
Merry Christmas to all the NBL fans, especially Melbourne United. Appreciate all your support.
Merry Christmas to my Jackies fans out there and everybody else in the NBL from Tasmania and myself. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas to all the families watching.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Shout out to Tasmania, my family, my loved ones.
Merry Christmas to all the Hoops fans out there. Hope you guys enjoy your holidays and spend it with plenty of friends and family.
Merry Christmas, NBL fans, and especially Melbourne United fans.
Just great festive spirit here in John Cain Arena as well. Fireworks are spectacular, to say the least, here at half-time. And a historic season for the Hungry Jacks NBL with 3 different open-air games, even if the roof has just been open for a short time here at half-time. Of course, Perth will open the roof in WA as well when they entertain the Adelaide 36ers. And that's coming up on Friday, the 17th of January.
Adelaide get 2.
Adelaide get 2 after the Phoenix entertained them here as well. So these teams have played twice already this season. Both times it was a 9-point win to the team leading at half-time, and that's where we find Tassie at the moment. And if they can win Tassie, they came in 7th in the ladder. They will shoot to 4th on the ladder. And Melbourne, well, they're 2nd at the moment, but could drop to 3rd unless they can find a way home. And Rob Lowe has lost control of it. Turned it over for the 10th time in the game.
And Steindl back out there to start the second half. Even more impressive to think that 15-minute halftime break. Managed to keep it warm, and he's still gritting his teeth for his team. Oh, wow.
Doyle looks off the D, adds to the tally.
Well, someone get Rob Lowe a map, because he was lost.
Dellavedova needs help. Low. Wanted Golding. That passing lane was denied by McDonald. They go back to Dellavedova, who fires the 3 off the front of the rim. So McDonald rushes up the floor. Here's Steindl. Playing through injury at the moment. Krislovic off the mark. Low. Look away. Pass. Shea Illy. Had a great time of it so far. Just 1 of 4 from the field. Shea Illy. Golding off the mark. White keeps it alive with the offensive rebound.
And if I'm Melbourne United right now, I'm running Clint Steindl off every single screen I can in the whole building just to get him moving, get that left ankle or right ankle just really under test as we see Chris Golding go at him right now.
Right with the shot clock expiring, couldn't finish, and Low from close range can't hit the target either. So they've had their chances here, Melbourne. JackJumpers back the other way. Tarangi marches over the top there of Shea Illy. Couldn't finish though, but gets it back again. First offensive rebound in the game for the Tasmania JackJumpers.
No surprise here. Anthony Drimming's coming in for Clint Steindl. He pulled up, really saw that last possession down defensively. I think Scott Roth just said, look, I admire your effort, but you're severely hampered by that ankle.
Doyle and Lowe getting tangled up there.
Black, 2, got a hold.
They're going to call on Robert Lowe, so that's his first personal.
I think Milton Doyle was really lucky to get away with that, not get away with that foul there, and Rob Lowe pleading his case, and I think he had a case to plead there.
Yep, I'm with you. So McDonald takes on Illy into the traffic, and they've relieved him of possession, and now Jack White bounces into Tarangi, off glass, couldn't get it done, and chasing for the rebound is going to be called for the foul. So Jack White has his second personal.
And as a player, there's nothing worse when you go out for a layup, you miss an easy 2, and you try so hard to get that rebound back, and then you pick up a cheap foul.
So White with 9.6 rebounds at the moment, leads the competition in double-doubles as Drimmick fires unsuccessfully. So dried up from deep for Tassie. They were 6 of 10 at quarter time, and they've hit 2 of 9 since then. Here's Lowe spinning into Krislovic, and then back to the right-hand side, and from close range can't convert.
How many have they missed underneath the hoop?
So they're none of 6 in this quarter. In total, Melbourne, as Doyle goes back to Tarangi, got a good look, and he drops another 3 on them.
14 points. Ruben Tarangi has not missed 5 of 5 from the field, 3 of 3 from deep, and he's hit a free throw to go along with 4 rebounds.
So 5 unanswered points start this third quarter. Lowe eventually puts a stop to it and comes up with just his second field goal.
And Ruben Tarangi has that ability to space the floor for this JackJumpers lineup. So that just allows players like Milton Doyle and Jordan Crawford, when he's in the game, to get downhill and get on the rim. And when they help, he's popping out for that 3.
Tarangi wants to take on Dellavedova. There was plenty of contacts, and eventually the foul's called on Dellavedova. His first personal, 3rd team foul on Melbourne in this quarter.
Here's the Amy replay. Milton Doyle drew the crowd. 3 United jerseys around him. Tarangi's feeling good right now. What I love about that last play, that foul on Delhi. Chris Reed was talking to him as Delhi was shaking his head saying that last one was too much. I like the fact they're letting both teams be physical, but as soon as it crosses the line, I say that's too much. There's been plenty that's been let go in this game with Chancellor Burgess. That would have been all my fault too.
Yeah, commentator's curse right there, Pete Hawley.
Perfect game.
8 of 9 from the free throw line now. Tassie, here's Illy from close range. Tough shot. This time he gets it done. 7 in the game now for Shea Illy. And the margin cut to 6. Played 3.5, term number 3. Drimic feeds Krislovic, and he's ready to pull the trigger. The West Adelaide Bearcats, teammates combined, and Krislovic knocks down the 3.
10 threes, 10 of 21, 47.5%.
Illy gets it from Dellavedova. Shot clock works to 10 now. Bowen trying to post up Doyle. Clark decides to go solo. That's off the mark. Doyle grabs the rebound. Melbourne lead the rebound count 25-17. And wild shot from Doyle is off the mark.
Is the roof open or closed?
He's just taken the 5 shots. That was the 6th field goal attempt for Milton Doyle. Just trying to get something going. And you're right, I think Tasmania will be wrapped with the Melbourne weather, keeping the roof shut, because they're shooting the lights out.
47% from the field, 46 from deep, the JackJumpers. There's Cameron. Beats Lee. Found an opening under the rim. Oh, late whistle, but the foul's on Milton Doyle. It's going to be his 3rd personal.
And I like that pick and roll action between Dellavedova and Marcus Lee. I think that was really effective for them. Oh, as we see, sorry, Flynn Cameron, but I think that it was really effective for them before Marcus Lee got injured. And they did it out of the open side, so no one actually could bump and help on that backside for Marcus Lee.
Wasn't a heap in it. A little bit of contact, which made Marcus Lee miss it. I reckon if he makes that dunk, that probably goes unwhistled.
So Lee at 60% from the free throw line this season. Can't get both. And Dellavedova with the offensive rebound, though. Flynn Cameron overdue. Can't connect. Tip-in tumbles for Marcus Lee.
Beating him up on the offensive glass. 11 now in the game. Had about 4 already in this 3rd quarter.
Jack hands over. McDonald, all the way. Tough shot. Couldn't get enough on it. Lee with the rebound. Slapped out of his hands by Drimic. Melbourne off and running through Dellavedova. Doyle in front of him. He steps in and challenged Milton Doyle. Whistles came from everywhere. Now's going to be called on Milton Doyle.
That's his 4.
That's 4.
That's great awareness from Matthew Dellavedova. He saw this, he goes, okay, Milton Doyle's got 3. He's out of position, he's not ready to move his feet. And if you're Milton Doyle there, you've just got to be a matador. You just got to basically, all you can to stay out of the way and hope that your teammate has your back, or retreat as much as you can and just wall up. His feet were standing still, and enough to get a blocking foul. And we're not going to see Milton Doyle for, you'd think, at least the rest of this quarter and the start of the 4th.
Now, Delhi's IQ is off the charts. He's playing 2 moves ahead of the game than anyone else that's out there. And that's just further evidence of it there when he knew the scenario with Doyle. Well done there from Bowen.
Another offensive rebound.
Off the missed free throw again. Cameron in traffic. Hummer relieved him of possession. So Tassie by 6. Middle stages of the third.
That's a seal. Too much. Blue, 11. Push.
Foul on Flynn Cameron, going to be his second personal. 4th team foul on Melbourne in this quarter.
And that's just a silly foul by Flynn Cameron there. I understand the intent behind it and what he was trying to do. Get up, get physical. It's what Dean Vickerman wants him to do, but you've got to keep your hands out. Your team's nearly one foul away from being in the bonus for nearly 5 more minutes of this game.
And he's sitting down now, Flynn Cameron. I think Dean Vickerman saw they were a bit chirpy, Crawford and Cameron in the first half, and he doesn't want anything to boil over with the 4 team fouls.
Crawford, the hammer, puts it on the deck against Bowen. Back to the favoured left-hand side. Gets his own rebound and he's shut down by Bowen. He stays with it. Hammer gets it to Gack. Gack goes to work. Bowen hit the deck hard there.
115.
Foul's going to be called on Kyle Bowen, his first personal.
Hammer, not for an offensive threat like that, but got his own rebound and Marcus Lee. Well, that's what they've missed for sure. And Gack was there. Right place, right time. Waiting for these free throws though, Case.
He wanted to show that he could make them, Case.
Well, as I say, he missed 7 in a row, I was counting, including, I'll add, an air ball. And eventually walked away from the stripe, and they forced him back there until he hit one.
I'm not shooting free throws around you ever again.
Just happened to notice. So the margin is 7. 4.5 to play in the third. Had 8 lead changes already in the game. Well, it has been JackJumpers who have led for the vast majority, 18 minutes to 1 in that first half. Here's Dellavedova from close range, up and under works. He's got 8 points.
Great patience and poise there by Matthew Dellavedova. He just took the body, he stood him up. Jordan Crawford thought he was out of the play. Got him for an up and under reverse layup.
Here's Gack firing it from long range, and he knocks down the 3.
And every time Melbourne United get one bit closer, the JackJumpers just have another response. They just stay poised. They stay true to their JackJumpers offense and their style of play.
Well, Dellavedova wants to challenge this. I don't think Dean Vickerman's buying it.
Well, Dean Vickerman doesn't have a good angle there. He'd have to put full trust in Delhi. They're going to get the replay now to have a look at it. And no, I'm not sure why, unless it came off Gack's ankle at the end there. That's a clear Tassie ball.
This time, it's Tassie with the turnover. That's 8 in the game for them after they had just 1 at quarter time.
Keeping an eye on Ian Hammer. Now, Scott Ross did say in the pre-game he's not in game shape yet. They're going to have to work him into it. But he's gassed out there. And again, I think he's going to be more gassed for the fact of he plays at 100 miles an hour. Just watching him, everything he does is full bore. And there's a good take from Marcus Lee. Sets screens really hard, crashes the glass, never gives up on the play. Going to have to try and get him up to speed as quick as possible.
Just have to back up against New Zealand on Christmas Day as well. This is Drimmick wheeling in the paint and now on the retreat. Decides to fire over Lee. Can't get it done. So momentum swinging here to Melbourne United at Illy. Bumped by McDonald. Third team foul on Tassie in this quarter. It's on Sean McDonald. He's got 2.
On the dribble, Mark. On the dribble. Sorry.
Shaylee tried to throw it up and get to that free throw line. Veteran play there, but the referees had other ideas there.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because when he cops the bump, he then throws it after a step. Now, if he controls himself, doesn't fall and takes 2 steps and lays it up, it's probably a continuation.
It's a continuation of the play.
Here's Illy. Jack White gets a good look and takes full advantage of it. 12 in the game now for White on 5 of 9, including 2 of 3 from deep. Margin cut to 3. This is as close as Melbourne have been since the opening quarter. And things are starting to go their way.
And Jack White with the plus 15 on the efficiency as we look at the Amy replay here. Shea Illy just realised they all collapsed on that pick and roll. And when you've got someone like Jack White who's shooting that 3-ball with such confidence, that is a luxury for Melbourne United.
The absence of Magnay certainly hurting the JackJumpers tonight. 19 rebounds, the JackJumpers. Melbourne has 31. Here's Hammer. Gets it done. Chance at a 3-point play. His first score in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
That was a nice finish. Caught the bump fading away. A little kiss off the backboard. But this is what we've been waiting for, Case. Have another look at this, just sized up. Marcus Lee, he knew he was going to get back to his left.
Use that body well there.
There we go, I've been waiting for this.
Case is ready.
"34-year-old veteran recruit replacing Craig Sword."
Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Lefty.
That's 8 out of 9, but someone was in early in the lane.
He was way early.
Well, here's the question now, Case. So he's going to get a redo on a violation. If he misses this, does it count?
It should.
It should. I'm with you. It's Christmas time. Feed the kids.
Does it count?
No, it's not going to. Well, if Gazy was here, he'd make a call.
Gazy would already be at Hungry Jack's.
If anyone wants to try it, just get to Hungry Jack's and see who Andrew Gay said it was on him. There's Marcus Lee with a flush. You're right, Alice. Every time Melbourne challenged, Tassie come up with a bucket. So can they keep doing it? They're up 3, a little over 2 minutes out from three-quarter time. Apart from a brief period in the opening quarter, Melbourne has been chasing the whole night, and again they come up. This time it's Deng with a tough bucket.
Wow, and he just has an absolute knack for scoring the ball. He comes off the bench and he's just an absolute bucket getter.
White in traffic, forced into a tough shot, can't get it done, but it's knocked down out of court. Last touch by Tassie.
But I like that recognition from Majok Den on the other end. He had Chris Goulding on him in the post. He's undersized in the post, and you knew he had that reach on him to get that too.
Tasmania, it's the supporting cast who's been exceptional in this game so far. Drumming's got the 7 points. Juk Deng knocking that one down. Rumatarungi's checked back in with his 15. Clint Steiner, we don't think we'll see again because of the ankle with 12.
Low. It's the restart from Illy and goes back to Illy, who fires from long range, gets his own rebound. Now Jack White can pull the trigger from deep. It's off the mark as well.
White's 3-ball looks way more composed and efficient when he steps into it left-right. Keep an eye on the way he gets to his 3-ball.
Trimmick's off the mark. White the rebound, falling to the floor, releases it to Dellavedova. Lob pass, wanted to Rob Lowe. Behind McDonald, did well to reel it in and gets the finish as well. Lowe gets it done. And again, they cut the margin to just 3.
Jack White fell down at the Blackmores decal right there. Hopefully got out there and cleaned that up.
Shot block the single digits here for the JackJumpers. Tarangi, the Deng, they want Crawford involved. Gets beyond Dellavedova. I think Illy got a piece of the action there, deflected the shot, and they're running now. Illy. Bounce pass for Dellavedova. And they reset here.
And we see Sean McDonald just staying on CG there. He's just treating him with like almost like a box and one out there, and that's how you got to treat CG.
Goulding, 4 of 10 from the field, 3 of 8 from deep for 14 points. Still leads Melbourne. Tarangi with 15 leads the game. It's McDonald. Shares it to Deng. And now Crawford dancing in front of Jack White. He's off the mark. Trimmick kept it alive. McDonald, the cleanup. That is off the mark as well. Deng the O-board and stripped of it by Jack White, who releases it for Lowe from close range. That's the 2. Melbourne back to within 1 point. Last play of the third. Trimmick goes with a Jack McFay one-legger and knocks it down. Big play at three-quarter time. And he knocks down the triple, and Tasmania enjoy a 4-point lead with a quarter to play.
It was close. Let's have a look at the replay. Did he get it off in time? Really tough to tell from this angle. Oh, I don't think he's got it.
They've waved it away. No basket. So we have a 1-point ball game with a quarter to play from John Cain Arena. Stay with us here on the Hungry Jacks NBL. Great to have you with us from John Cain Arena. Round 13 of the Hungry Jacks NBL continues, and the championship replay is living up to all expectations, with Tassie on top by a single point here thanks to Reebok. The pump by Reebok seats Cully Smythe, Mickey Whelan enjoying a front row look at proceedings and thoroughly enjoying it as well.
Mickey Whelan very comfortable in the Reebok seats.
As you should be. So Tassie with a possession arrow and a 1-point lead as we get underway here in the fourth. Last time they played at this venue, Game 5, it was 83-81. Tassie winning as Crawford elevates and comes up with a big three.
Wow, what a way to start the fourth quarter. And we know those fireworks finished at halftime, but I think we're in for a huge fourth quarter of basketball between these two teams.
Dane missed from close range for Melbourne United.
They have missed countless shots underneath the hoop. This was inevitable one way or another off the ball between Drimmick and Golding.
I wish I had some popcorn, Pete.
Well, the hard thing is,
I wish I had some popcorn.
The referees all saw it in the first quarter and had a word to say with both of them. When you do that, you have to be extra cautious throughout the rest of the game because they're watching you now. You've put a spotlight on both of you off the ball.
Tassie had done a good job on Golding. He took just 2 shots in the third quarter, 4 of 10 overall for his 14 points. Season average of 19, and averaging 29 in his 4 games before being injured. Lowe slaps down on the ball, but caught Chuk Deng in the face as well. So Lowe's going to pick up his second personal.
Let's go.
13 fouls as a team. Melbourne 16 on Tassie so far.
Scott Roth will be hoping that they can just keep this going at least to the 7-minute mark before he has to go to Milton Doyle, who's got the 4 fouls. And Doyle's been quiet, 7 points, he's got a couple of rebounds, but you know in the fourth quarter he can take over again.
So Drimmick getting some of his own treatment from Chris Golding. Shot clock works to 7 here. McDonald goes back to Drimmick, puts it on the deck, look away, pass to Rung. He's been muddy from deep. This time can't convert.
Unselfish play there by Anthony Drimmick, but I think he had the layup down there.
Also off the ball as well. Nico Fernandez and Chris Reed.
First, and then you get the clap. Okay.
Fouls white 13. Hold first.
A foul on McDonald, his third personal. Second team foul. Tassie in this quarter.
He just loves Rob Lowe. Beautiful.
It's giving season. It's Christmas. Just giving some love. We love it.
Clark gets it from Golding. Being guarded by Crawford at the moment. Clark puts it on the deck against Tarangi. Tough shot. Didn't get enough on it. Lowe, the offensive rebound and the putback too. He's into double figures.
And we spoke about the Tasmanian JackJumpers trying to take Chris Goulding out of the game. No one is helping off him. They are staying super close to him. They know the importance of him and how quickly he can heat up and get cooking.
Blue, wait. Blue, 1-1. Got to hold. Come in.
Clark gets his third personal.
Here is Milton Doyle. Milton Doyle into the game. 4 fouls, 8 minutes to go.
Thanks.
I think if Tassie are going to get this win, they've played exceptional up till now. They're going to need Milton Doyle to finish the game.
Golding sits down and Rob Lowe slaps the ball out of Tarangi's hands.
And they have had a really good flow without Milton Doyle on the court. They've really pushed the tempo. Everyone's touched the ball. So now how do they integrate him back in this game after he's sat for so long?
Athletic work from Chuk Deng, reaching in Dellavedova. Whistle on the play. Ellie's picked up his second personal.
3 team fouls from Melbourne in probably about 30, 40 seconds. And Chris Golding getting a breather right now. He's played just over 20 minutes. I had to guess, I think that restriction would be around 25, 26. So he's on track for that. Unless this goes to overtime, which between these two teams wouldn't surprise me.
We've only had the 2 overtime games this season, which is a little short of what we normally have at this stage. Is Deng taking them on. Gets his own rebound and from close range adds the 2.
We're going to have a review here. Hey, Rob, go this way, please. Go this way, please. Go this way, please.
So Drimmick on the deck. Chuk Deng and Lowe getting involved.
We're
going to look at it.
Delhi.
The unsportsmanlike's on Delhi.
Please, this way. Stay there, please. Jordan.
Oh, that's what it looks like on Rob Lowe. Sorry, Delhi had nothing to do with it.
Look, the retaliation wasn't necessary from Rob Lowe, but I think Anthony Drimmick maybe didn't need to stir the pot like that, running into him or walking into him right there.
But Anthony Drimmick, that's his game, isn't it? He'll upset someone, hopefully do it with inside the rules, but give them enough rope to hang themselves, which Rob Lowe bought into there, took the bait. And Rob Lowe, he's fouled out more than any other player in the NBL this season. He's fouled out 4 times.
So they're reviewing it for an act of violence. You heard the referees talk about it. So keep another look at Anthony Drimmick and Rob Lowe from here. So he's holding his arm just enough there. There's barely any in it. And that little bump there was enough. Those 2 little moves were enough to set Rob Lowe off. And it's an easy, unsportsmanlike call. And remember this a bit earlier in the game as well. That was in the first quarter.
In the half,
There seems to be a common...
Oh, wow. Black number 2.
There you go.
Disqualifying foul on Rob Lowe. He has been tossed out of the game.
Stand up. The reaction is...
I know.
Wow.
And Rob Lowe gets ejected at 10 points, 5 of 8, 62% field goals, and 16 efficiency.
Let's get to Scott Butler for the explanation.
Oh, guys, when you look at this play, you watch what Rob Lowe actually does here on the action. He looks straight at Drimmick, drops the elbow into the back of the head. That's deliberate contact to the head of an opponent. That this season is a disqualifying foul.
Thanks very much, Scott.
Well said from Scott Butler there, and I think that, as both Chris Reid was explaining to the team, and Scott Butler said, the look straight at, followed by the intent. You know what you're doing in that act, and the act of violence above the shoulders. Any connection to the head, the crowd don't like it.
So Rob Lowe becomes the 4th player ejected this season, and 3 people have been ejected in that key way.
It's going to be a long 7 minutes for Anthony Drimmick in this ball game.
Nice finish there from the JackJumpers. Crawford's up to 9 points in the game after having 4 at 3/4 time. So he's got 5 of the 9 that Tassie have scored here in this quarter, Crawford. Remembering what he did in Game 5, the championship decided, but Dellavedova's not done with just yet. 11.6 assists now for Delhi. And have to dig deep here, Melbourne. Tassie led for the vast majority of the game after Melbourne scored the first 2 of the game through Dellavedova. They've got the answers from Majuk Deng.
Wow.
Big play from Majuk Deng. And it's Tassie on top by 8, 80-72. A little over 7 minutes to play. Tangerine timeout called. 7:07 to play, and Tassie leading at 12 points to 5 here in this quarter after they've been challenged on a couple of occasions.
It's fun back and forth. Majuk Deng loves playing. There's a certain matchup about this. Some players just feel good playing in certain arenas and against certain teams, and this is definitely it for Majuk Deng. Stepping up when he has to, and the superstars have been quiet. He's going to try and do that right now and bring them home. What a win it would be if Tassie can hold on here.
Long way to go. 7:07 still on the clock. Exciting finish looming.
And the JackJumpers shooting that 3 ball at 45%.
Back at John Cain Arena, 7 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. Pete Hooley, I have a huge question for you. Rob Lowe has just been tossed out of this game. He's been in career best form. Is this a massive thing for Melbourne United? Can they get this done? It's an 8-point deficit at the moment. What does this mean for them?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you talk about his career at best form, but again, Marcus Lee's on a restriction as well. Doesn't normally play over 20 minutes as well, either when he is fully healthy, but he's a different looking outfit for them. And Rob Lowe's just got to keep his head. You just can't be doing that. You're too important to your team. And right now, Tassie are rolling, and here goes Milton Doyle.
Back to a double-figure lead for the Tassie JackJumpers. It's a big challenge now for Melbourne United with Rob Lowe ejected as Clark fires the three. It's deep. White for Dellavedova, who tries his luck. He rattles one home.
Back threes for Delhi. And again, this is where Dean Vickerman, it hurts him with the minutes restriction because he wants to get Chris Golding back in this game, but they're going to try and wait till the 5-minute mark, you'd imagine.
Melbourne with 4 fouls already in this quarter as well. I have to take that into consideration. This is Crawford. Work to an opening, fires over Jack White and peels off another 3. 12 now for Crawford, including 8 here in the last quarter.
14 of 30 from downtown, from Tasmania.
Including 3 of 4 in this quarter. Pete, here's Dellavedova, this time off the mark. It's been a gutsy performance from Tassie. Remembering Clint Steindl rolled an ankle severely in the opening quarter. It's been a long way short of 100%. Ellie rejects Crawford, who stayed with it, got the ball back and adds another 2. What a cameo this is from Jordan Crawford.
This is what it's a masterstroke by bringing Jordan Crawford off the bench. This is what Scott Roth wanted all season long. Have a look at the Amy replay, just the amount of space he can create at his size. Jack White, one of the best defenders we have in the league. Couldn't even close out to that. And then right here, great block from Shea Illy, fell straight back to Jordan Crawford, and just enough English to get it over Marcus Lee's outstretched hand. But he comes in off the bench now with the ultimate green light. Don't worry about setting up plays, just get it done.
And Danny Minogue in the house as well tonight. Crawford with 10 points in this last quarter. Festive season drawing some big names here to John Cain Arena and right around the league as well.
We've got one right next to us, John Casey.
Hang on.
Oh, Derek Rucker.
What's going on here? Sit down.
Derek Rucker in the house.
Someone tell him to sit down.
Tones and I, the #1 ticket holder as well, getting up close and personal with Anthony Tremick earlier in the game as he ended up in the front row. Michael Klim, Olympic gold medalist in the house.
One of the great swimmers this country has seen.
All the stars are out tonight in Melbourne. All the stars and Ruck.
I wish you saw the stars in the sky right now. I wish the roof was open. But what an amazing display we saw at halftime.
Someone needs to take that out of Ruck.
Yeah. Get him disqualified from this game. Loves a bit of airtime, D-Ruck.
So Melbourne United on a 3-game losing streak. Haven't lost 4 since November 22 in a row, that is. And the pass to Italy, they turned it over for the 15th time in the game, which is 4 above their season average. Generally, they look after the ball pretty well.
And someone who's been pretty quiet tonight is Ian Clark. Just 1 of 7 from the field goals, 5 points. He's got to get active in this game. He's got to ignite. CG's not out there. He's got to take over.
Just 9 triples for Melbourne in the game. 3 of those in the first quarter. Crawford this time short on the rim. And Trimick had a play on that and elected to let it.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know who to start.
And the reason the Melbourne United are only down 12 is they've got 15 offensive rebounds compared to Tasmania's 6. So the turnovers are hurting them, but they're staying in it with the extra chances, and they need to start capitalising on that because Tasmania already 87 points on the board with 5 minutes to go for a team that averages just 81 a game.
Kelsey Brown courtside.
I was listening into Dean Vickerman. He was still pretty positive. He looked at Marcus Lee and he said, you should like this matchup with Ruben Tarangi. He said, we've got to be aggressive with the hustle on Milton Doyle. I don't want him having any space.
Shea Illy adds to his tally, now up to 9 in the game. He's also got 6 rebounds and 6 assists, Shea Illy. Probably been the closest to a triple-double of any player in the competition this year. Shea Illy had 16, 9 and 9 in Perth in round 3. Chris Golding about to check back in as Doyle pulls the trigger from deep. That wouldn't work, and Lee with the rebound. Gave it to Illy.
Right on cue, Chris Golding. He's going upstairs.
And Illy's going coast to coast, adding another 2. He's into double figures, so the 5th Melbourne player in double digits, and the margin is cut again to 8.
And we see Scott Roth on the sideline just saying push the pace. He wants to play with pace. He wants to get Melbourne United moving and not in that half-court game.
So momentum starting to find its way back to Melbourne United, but each time they challenge, Tassie have an answer. Here's Dellavedova on Doyle. trying to force away past. He tries a tough shot. Dellavedova gets it done. 16 in the game now for Delhi. He leads the game in scoring, and Melbourne are back to within 6.
And that's the leadership of Matthew Dellavedova there. He recognises who he's got on him. He's got Milton Doyle. He knows he can't foul in this game. He just takes his moment, he stays poised and finishes the possession here as we just see him get him up and under. Nice little dirk there, Delhi.
Playing well.
So 16 points now for Delhi, 6 assists, 4 rebounds as well. Always produces in big games. And of course, the action continues tomorrow night. We'll be at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre where another sellout crowd beckons as the 36ers play host to the Brisbane Bullets without James Bateman. There is some suggestion that James Bateman could have an extended time on the sidelines, and that's not good. And Adelaide, as we know, will Jekyll and Hyde at home and on the road this year. And they will be desperate to get that win, because you would think that come the play-in game, there's not room in the top 6 for Brisbane and Adelaide.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Tomorrow's game is huge. You think about what could ride on Adelaide, they need to get these wins and pile them up as quick as possible. The beauty of it is, as you said, Case, you just got to make the play-in tournament. Anything can happen, but the issue with what we've seen from Adelaide offensively compared to defensively, if that playing game's against the Tasmania outfit, defensively it could be a different story.
Less than 4 minutes to play. Tassie by 6, but Melbourne snatching the momentum from them at the moment. Chuk Deng with it. Single digits on the shot clock. They invite Crawford into the tough shot. Couldn't get enough on it. Now Melbourne get the stop and a chance to run. Dellavedova ushers Illy into the paint. Wide baseline. Mishandled the pass. Now Dellavedova's going to knock down the triple, and it's going to be waved away.
Foul on the side, 13 seconds.
So a shot clock error is denied Melbourne United and Matthew Dellavedova the 3. Nico Fernandez with the call, and it's the correct call. It wasn't at the great time for Melbourne United.
And it's tough because if Delhi misses it and you don't call it, they're going to be thinking when they go back and watch, hey, we should have had a reset.
Dellavedova helped in by Marcus Lee. So they come up with a bucket nonetheless, and the margin is 4 as we count down the last 3 minutes from John Cain Arena. Doyle for Deng. Crawford comes toward him. Deng puts it on the deck. Melbourne playing with 14 fouls. Red numbers on the shot clock now. Deng in a mismatch with Shea Illy in terms of height. Elevates, can't finish, but he's fouled in the process off to the stripe.
He's really crafty in those situations with Chuk Deng. He's not so much a big man who's going to back you right down, get to a hook shot. He wants to face up when he gets to the mid-range or gets in the post, because he can just rise up and shoot over the top of you, or he can get to the free throw line like this.
And don't forget, 12 games of Christmas as part of our 12 days of Christmas. We've got 12 days of giveaways, unlocking each day with epic prizes from the NBL sponsors. You can visit nbl.com.au/Christmas to enter for your chance to win. It's Christmas and the NBL giving out the prizes, so get involved.
Giving out prizes. Brad Newley. The Santa Claus around here, the old Brad Newley. Great to see him around Melbourne United. I got a Barbie land pop.
Just what you're after?
I'm stoked. Love Barbie.
Tassie by 6, 2.5 to play. They had the answers all night. Dellavedova almost lost the handle. White in the corner. Shea Illy. That's well deep with the 3. Kept alive by Marcus Lee, and now wrestle for the loose ball, and Melbourne get it back. They reset. Dellavedova puts it on the deck. Screen from White. Steps back to the middle. Feeds Lee from close range.
And Marcus Lee's been huge in this fourth quarter. He's blocked possessions, he's changed shots, he's got offensive rebounds, he's got tips, and just finished on that play.
This has been Tassie's issue all game. 16 offensive rebounds. The amount of second chance points that Melbourne have had in this game is the reason it's a 4-point margin.
Crawford, baseline, beats McDonald and gets it back. Red numbers on the shot clock against Jack White. Needs to get it up quickly. Deng fires, shot clock expires in the background. third shot clock violation on Tassie in the game. Melbourne with 0. The shooting woes for Shea Hilly continue. Another 2 from long range. He's now had 10 of the 16 games coming into tonight where he's failed to hit a 3, including his last 4. Just can't buy a bucket from deep. And fans making their presence felt as well. Huge sellout crowd here at John Cain Arena. And Melbourne United close the gap even further, just 2 the difference.
Shea Hilly has put the team on his back in this fourth quarter. Just making winning plays.
Tarangi hands over to McDonald. Guarded by Golding. He fires and splashes an enormous 3.
He's done this before on this floor as well, Sean McDonald. Which team is going to keep their composure down the stretch?
First 3 of the game for Sean McDonald.
And he's been quiet before then, so that is a big-time bucket.
First score since quarter time for McDonald. And Tassie has 9 players who have hit a 3. We move inside the last 60 seconds of a pulsating affair from John Cain Arena and a replay of last year's championship decider.
There we go. He'll hit this.
It's Tassie by 5, 2 on the shot clock. Doyle against Dellavedova. Tough shot, can't connect, and he's fouled. Dean Vickerman can't believe it.
Neither can Daly.
And Dean Vickerman's going to challenge here.
Without even looking at the replay. Oh, I'll tell you what, watching it live, I'm not so sure. I guess you've got nothing to lose anyway, so you kind of may as well roll the dice. That's the way you look at it. You've only got 1 timeout left, so if you don't use it now, you would use it after they made the free throws anyway. So it's clean up top. Oh, it looks pretty clean.
He even let him land in his space, so you can see Daly here. He doesn't take away his space to land. He knows that.
Makes contact with that right leg of Neil Doyle, who's going into a runner, which makes it hard. It's not a conventional jump shot. The other angle, that baseline angle, shows that contact a bit more clear. This one right here. So this contact right there on that right knee.
So the Amy coach's challenge is going to be unsuccessful. Let's get to Scott Butler for the explanation.
All right, guys, camera 8's one of the best angles for the play. You see Doyle drive to the rim. Dellavedova is initially legal, but then as Doyle elevates, Dellavedova takes his right leg and puts him off balance on the shot. That's where the foul occurs.
Probably unlucky for Delhi, because if Milton Doyle just shoots a fadeaway, then he's not going to foul. He kind of gets out of the way, but that running motion from Doyle to get his leg in the air, the contact was there. As we said, Dean Vickerman was probably going to call a timeout if they scored anyway. He may as well roll the dice.
He did say he'd make the shot, whatever way he made it.
Going to wait for these two to go down first. No timeouts left for Melbourne now.
First trip to the free throw line in the game for Milton Doyle. Gets them both. So 15 of 18 from the stripe Tassie. United 10 of 17. Have left 7 points out there, and that's what they trail by. Time of the essence now. Golding hasn't taken a shot in this fourth quarter. 2 in the third, and he's fouled by Majuk Deng. Majuk Deng suggesting we need to challenge it. They're looking at the video. Scott Roth calls timeout and says we will challenge.
He just turned around and said, we've got 2 timeouts, I may as well. Majuk Deng was pretty adamant, but again, as Scott Roth, it's the right thing. This is why you keep your coach's challenge for these situations where I've got 2 timeouts in the bank.
I think Chris Goulding kicks his leg out here.
Yeah, but that's on the elbow.
It's on the arm there. It's the Amy coach's challenge, unsuccessful. Scott Butler, you're a busy man.
Yeah, I want to get paid by the challenge tonight, please, guys, just so you know. I'll be talking to Sean Gottliebson about that later on. You can see on the broadcast vision, it's pretty straightforward. As Goulding elevates, Dang hits him across the left forearm. That foul will stand as well.
I'm not sure why Majuk Deng was so adamant he didn't make contact. There's a clear foul on that left elbow. Everything else that came afterwards.
And Majuk Deng's got to realise who he's guarding. He's guarding Chris Goulding there, who knows how to do this. He just has to stay straight up. Majuk Deng's wingspan is so big. For Chris Goulding to get that shot over him, that'd be just an absolute miracle shot there.
I think Majuk Deng thinking he was straight up after the foul. That's for sure, but he might also be a bit flat that it doesn't take much to fall out of the circle of trust with challenges.
So Goulding to the free throw stripe, where he's 3 of 4 in this game, and 91% on the season coming in. Seven the margin with less than 36 seconds to play.
I've seen some crazier things in the NBL.
But his comeback game, Goulding had 9 in the opening quarter and 5 in the second. And these are his first points, or just point since then. Crawford ushers the ball out. So Goulding misses 2 of the free throws, but they get it back, Melbourne.
Guys, 1 second. We review the play. Jack
Ruben gets a review in under.
And JackJumpers have a foul to give here. They only have 3 fouls before they go into the bonus there.
Don't need the challenge to get a review in the dire stages. Yeah, there it is off Jordan Crawford's knee. Now, keep an eye on a quick little 1-2 as well for Delhi here. Everyone will think it's going to go to Chris Goulding.
McDonald with the job on Goulding. Crawford and Illy. And Tarangi working against Jack White.
Let's go, Melbourne, let's go.
Fans getting involved as well. Trust have enjoyed our coverage.
Doyle's got to protect that corner as well.
Sullivan over to restart here. Taking some time, eventually finds White, who puts it on the deck against Crawford. Tough shot, didn't get enough on it. Deng grabs the rebound. Inside 30 seconds to play. Plenty of pressure on McDonald. And the free throws to come now for the JackJumpers.
Safe foul, 2 shot.
Second personal on Chris Goulding. Melbourne over the limit.
I think I can see why Jack White went up for that shot. He had the mismatch on Jordan Crawford there, but they had more time on the shot clock there. They probably could have got a better option, a better look there.
He's better off just putting his head down and trying to then back down and get right to the rim. The door ever slightly ajar. You said we've seen some crazy things.
Third consecutive game for Tassie that they've been 90 plus. Here's Illy coast to coast. Finds Jack White, finding the 3. That's off the mark. Lee tapped it up onto the backboard. They get it back. Illy, who's been on a drought from deep and continues to be dry. Goulding for White, who fires. That's short as well. Delhi keeps it alive once more. Goulding, the man they wanted to get it, and he knocks down the 3. 4-point ball game. Melbourne must foul. Jack White obliges, and Crawford off to the stripe for the first time in the game.
Oh, you're right. It's the man they wanted to get to, Chris Goulding. Probably too little, too late.
And that came from 3 extra possessions from Marcus Lee there. He just tipped on every single one. He stayed in the possession, and the Tasmanian JackJumpers just trying to out-jump him. You can't out-jump someone of the size of Marcus Lee. Get a body, turn and face, push him out of the rebounding.
Could very well be what looks like it's about to be the best winning streak in Tasmanian club history.
It's their highest score against Melbourne in Melbourne as well. Crawford's been huge in this last quarter. Had 4 at 3-quarter time. And now he's got 16.
They'll make them 8 and 2 at John Cain Arena.
Illy from just beyond half court, can't get it done. And the Tassie JackJumpers have won a franchise record 6 straight and have moved into the top 4. An emphatic 97-91 win over Melbourne United by 6 points.
big win. As we said, they punched Melbourne United in the mouth from the opening quarter. They stemmed all the runs that United went on. United dropped 4 straight. And on the other end, Tasmania, well, they continue to build towards the postseason. It's what the JackJumpers culture is all about. They're doing it once again.
And impressive they did that with that Will Magnay. Their import Hummer didn't have to play too many minutes, but everyone stepped up. Like we spoke about, Case, every time Melbourne United had an answer, JackJumpers had another response to them. They just knew to stay true to their offense. They stayed poised, they stayed composed. They shot the 3-ball at a huge 42%, and they did it with that Will Magnay, and they did it with that Clint Steindl for the majority of that second half.
They led by as many as 13 in the first quarter. It was 14 in the second at one stage, by 9 in the third, and also had it out to a double-figure lead here in the fourth. But 1 point the difference at three-quarter time. Melbourne challenged on a number of occasions, just couldn't get it done. And a big last quarter from Jordan Crawford. Let's hear from him now. He's standing by with Kelsey Brown.
Yeah, Jordan Crawford was huge in the last quarter. 16 points for you, 6 assists, 0 turnovers. You've been in a new role in the last couple of weeks coming off the bench, but your role has not, your impact has not changed.
First of all, to God be the glory. But, you know, I'm just here to, whatever my team needs, you know, I'm here to bring the swagger for these guys. But, I just appreciate them supporting me. If I'm on the bench, wherever I'm at, I just want to bring the energy and whatever my team needs.
You seem to love this venue, as does your team. It's a happy hunting ground for you guys. You've made Melbourne United lose here, and you guys are 5 on the trot. There seems to be a massive belief within the JackJumpers unit at the moment.
It's never relief. You know, we're the hunted. We did big things last year, so we're being hunted this year. We can't take the foot out the brake. It's back to the next one and get our recovery and get ready for Christmas Day.
I robbed you of one that was 6 straight. So Christmas Day down in Tassie, what are you looking forward to?
Jesus' birthday, the born day. So just the fans being there, spending time with family. My family's on their way over here, so I'm just excited to see them.
Can't wait to see you down there on Christmas Day. Congratulations on a great win.
All right, thank you, cousin.
Foot Locker player of the game, Jordan Crawford, 16 points, including 12 in the last quarter. He gets Tassie home 97-91, a 6th straight win, and they've stormed into the top 4. We'll be back to wrap it up from John Cain Arena right after this. Great to have you with us from John Cain Arena tonight with a rematch of last year's championship decider, and Tassie prevail once more. They continue to dominate Melbourne here. They've won 8 out of 10 at this venue, and tonight a 6-point victory for them. Most impressive, particularly when you consider that without Magnay and, of course, losing Clint Steindl with an ankle injury. There are the numbers, Pete.
They got smashed on the glass. 20 offensive rebounds with a difference in the entire rebounding count, and that's what probably kept Melbourne United around. Tassie were phenomenal.
And they shot the three ball at 42%, and they had nearly 7 players in double figures, the JackJumpers.
And look at where it's moved. The JackJumpers came in 7th position. They've been anchored down as low as 9th this season, and now they're in the top 4, and Melbourne slipped from 2nd to 3rd. So it's a New South Wales dominance at the top, and of course the Hawks and the Kings go at it on Christmas Day.
1v2 on Christmas Day. Cannot wait for that. It's a big game tomorrow as well. The Sixers and Brisbane. That'll have finals implications as always, Case.
As you can see, we've got 5 teams now, including the JackJumpers, like double-figure wins. So for those teams below, it's going to be tough. But that was exceptional from the JackJumpers. 6 straight wins, first time in franchise history, and back into the top 4. Trust you've enjoyed our coverage. It's certainly been a pleasure to bring it to you. A reminder, tomorrow night we're in Adelaide. The 36ers play host to Brisbane. And then on Christmas Day, Sydney Illawarra, Tasmania versus New Zealand. A lot to look forward to. But for now, on behalf of Kelsey Brown, Alice Koenig, Pete Hooley, and our hard-working crew behind the scenes, I'm John Casey. Have a good day tomorrow. Look forward to your company from Adelaide as the NBL Hungry Jacks continues.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.
Yeah.